Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. So this video is a kind of important stuff that is about the debt which I went through, how I fell into the debt, and how I managed to stay in it and how I managed to come out of it. And right now I'm laughing, but this was really a very painful story. So when I took the loan, the thing is I was studying when I was working, and my dad was sick. He got admitted in hospital, and like there was no other income source, and my brother was studying. He was younger. He's my younger brother, and he was studying. So there was no other option. We had to take the loan so that we can manage the regular expenses of our family, my education and brother's education, and so on. So I had to take the loan. I fell into a debt, and those were actually two loans, I guess. So it was something around 2 lakhs plus, and it became really hard and difficult to manage the monthly EMIs because after my dad recovered, I fell sick and I was admitted in hospital for about 15 days, and I had to undergo through treatment and all. I didn't tell anyone, I didn't ask anyone for help, I didn't even bother to take someone's suggestion, I didn't even bother to discuss my issues with someone who can actually help me. So what is the process, what should I do? So after, like, the loan was hugely piling up, and at that time when it was out of control, when the situation was out of control, then I discussed with few of my friends. So they shared few tips, but by then there was no option, but I just have to clear the entire amount. That was the thing asked by the bank, lending institutions actually. So then it was like I was barely managing to pay the monthly EMIs, but they demanded the entire amount. From where will I get the amount? So that is how I had to ignore it, and later, as the debt was piling up, I again discussed with few of my friends. They said, Esther, it is high time and you have to work on this. So just gather some courage, gather some strength, and make sure you're working on it so that you do not face any issues in future, because the CIBIL is also getting impacted. And for almost 2 years, I guess I was the only one working, managing my educational expenses as well, which was really difficult with the salary, with the, though it is an international organization, it was an international BPO. So with that income, it was really difficult and I couldn't manage. So few months passed, and almost, I think, a year passed that I didn't touch it, and later I thought I have to work on it. So the first thing is, whom should we contact, how should we solve the issue? So I just wrote an email to their nodal officer. Who is nodal officer means, nodal officer is the highest point of contact for almost all the organizations. So if at all if you face any such kind of issues with the bank or something, you can just ask for their nodal officer's email ID, and they will immediately respond, and they will assign a debt management officer, as it happened with me. So they have assigned debt management officer. So the thing is, from 2019 June, not even June, I think March or April, I was trying to clear the loan. So in January, I cleared one credit card, and I had a second credit card which I focused next. So while paying the loan, the things which we should keep in mind, if you are having 2 or 3 loans, so which bank is charging highest interest, so that you need to focus first, and first you have to clear it. And I was looking for multiple ways, so then I came up with the ways that I have to work overtime at any cost, and if it is a night shift also, I have to work in a night shift just to earn some extra income so that I can clear this debt off. And I have made like a 6 months plan, and I thought I'll start working on it from the month of May or June, because that is the time we used to get our annual bonus. So companies usually they pay annual bonus to their employees. So May was our month, and I thought TK, I'll just start working from now. And they said that you have to pay a bulk amount first, and then we can trust you, and we will give you some easy monthly installments option, EMI option. And so in the month of May, I thought I'll just clear the huge amount because I'm getting the highest salary. It was like for that month it was like 60 to 70,000, I guess. And what happened is, suddenly my dad felt sick again. My dad fell sick again, and again we had to get him admitted in the hospital. And first time we have admitted in a government hospital, and the situation was so horrible that we couldn't even stay with him, and there was no proper accommodation. So I thought next time again, if at all we are getting this kind of situation, so my dad or my mom, they are not going to stay in a government hospital. For that I have to make a plan. And then I took an insurance plan. It was like 5 to 8 lakhs insurance policy. So I missed paying the loans, but health is more important, and family is more important, and their health is also more important. So I just focused on paying the insurance every month without fail. And then when my dad was sick, that was helpful, and like 70 to 80% they have claimed, like we were able to claim the amount, and rest I had to pay from my hands. And again the situation was like out of control, and again I had my exams, and I had backlogs at that point of time because of all the stress and so many issues, and the subjects were also difficult. So it was actually psychology and politics. So these were like kind of difficult subjects because we have to do so many practicals and case studies and all. I couldn't clear a few subjects like political science and other language thing. So again I had to wait again. And what happened is, I was just praying, God, please open some way for me. So I think God has heard my prayers, and what happened is, I came to know that we can withdraw the PF in advance, somewhere around 50% to 70% amount that we can withdraw. And I thought I'll withdraw the amount. The reason why I chose that, because I couldn't ask anyone. I don't depend on people, I don't depend on relatives usually. I don't like asking anyone, even friends as well. So I thought I'll just withdraw my PF, and I'll just use it to pay my loan. And thanks to Kalpana here, she was the one who was helping me with this. And because the reason is, for PF we do get very less interest, but if we see for loan or credit card or any lending institutions, we will be paying higher interest. So it is nowhere a saving. It is like a what is it called? It is like a huge burden only. So once the debt is cleared, then only we can go into savings. So the mandatory expenses like health expenses, that it is mandatory. But apart from that, emergency funds like for future, if it is useful, for that I think we can withdraw and we can use it. So that's the reason why I made the decision. I have withdrawn the amount. I have paid the first initial amount which they have demanded me. That was somewhere around 30 to 40,000, and I've just got the rest amount converted into equal monthly installments, easy monthly installments, I think, EMIs, and it was also a huge amount. So what I did was, I had to control few things. Emergency medical expenses, they can't be controlled. Food expenses, they can't be controlled. They are mandatory. And we stay in a rented apartment, so rent, this can't be controlled. No one will wait for us. So rent is mandatory, food is mandatory, and I was writing my education, so I cannot even waste my time. Education is also mandatory. I was paying my educational expenses, and I just listed down all the expenses, what are necessary and what are unnecessary. And there came few things like clothes. So clothes are important, but not like frequently changing and randomly buying things, just going to a shopping mall and all, that is not done. So I almost never did it in my life, but still I have made a plan ki I'll pick up some standard clothes, like some standard formals, and I have decided ki for the next 8 or 12 months I'm not going to go to any shopping mall to get another set of clothes or anything. I've just fixed to whatever I have purchased in the beginning of the year when I started paying the loan. So as soon as I got my PF amount and salary of that month, I just took some amount of it and just went, did some standard shopping. And one more thing, footwear. So what usually girls do, most of the girls, I'm not judging them, but I'm just saying that these are the things which we can control if we are in a kind of debt, and this kind of debt, and to clear that we may have to control these kind of expenses for a short term. After that, once the debt is cleared, then it's your money, you can do whatever you want, you can spend the life whichever way you want, or we want actually. So footwear, I thought I'll just take some standard footwear, like 2 pairs, and just keep them aside. And one more thing is makeup expenses. So I said no to makeup, because previously the makeup things, those were like costing 5 rupees, 10 rupees, but now it is like 1000 rupees for a lipstick, 500 or 600 rupees for a nice lipstick, nice branded one. So I said no to branded clothes, I said no to the makeup things. And makeup things, if we see now, there are so many things like kajal, mascara, eyeshadow, eye palettes, and eyeliner, and so many things. So I said to myself that I will keep a check on this and I'll not fall into these kind of expenses. Though I was never a regular user of cosmetics and all, but at that time I made sure that my mind is not getting diverted and I'm not focusing on any of those things. And traditional wears like saris, jewelry and all, those are also very expensive. So I said no for a year for those kind of expenses. So which I already had, I used them, and there were no additional purchases in that point of time. Especially it took somewhere around 8 to 10 months, I guess, for me to clear the 2 loans almost. And so these were the expenses I controlled. And one more thing, going to beauty parlors. I was never a parlor person, but still if any of our friends are going, then we also get tempted when we have money in our hands. So I said ki I have mentally prepared myself ki no stepping into a parlor, and it is a big no-no, because if we just go, they'll say ki madam makeup karwa lo, madam facial karwa lo, ye karwa lo, wo karwa lo, and like again it's like a huge expense. If we step once, it is like a 2 to 3,000 or 5,000, sometimes 6,000. Sometimes they convince us to go for a package for somewhere around 10,000 or 8,000. So I said no to all those things. I just went with my friends, but still I made sure that I'm controlling myself. And I never stepped into a shopping mall again, highlighting this, for almost 8 months. And gadgets. So gadgets, as I've also started my YouTube channel, gadgets were really important for me, like a good mobile and a camera and mic and all. But I made sure that I'm not buying anything additional more than required, the mandatory things I have purchased, like I needed a tripod, I have purchased it. I needed a mic, I purchased it. But the costly gadgets like Apple laptop or OnePlus phone or something else like Canon camera or DSLR and all, so I didn't invest my money in any of these things. That means no new debt. So first I have focused on clearing the old debt. So till then I have said to myself no new debts for this 1 year. So once it is cleared, I may be able to spend my money or my salary on these things. And vehicles. So I was also studying, as I said, I needed a vehicle for myself. Most of my friends were having their own vehicles like cars, scooters or bikes and whatever it is. But I said to myself, if I'm walking, if I'm traveling through public transport, that is fine for few days. I have to control the desire to have my own vehicle, and still now I don't have my own vehicle, but my brother has. So that was the control I have done. And coming to the formals, I have picked formal dresses like some pants and some shirts, so that this will give you a long term like this will be useful for a long term, for 6 months, 8 months. And if it is like a cotton dresses or something for girls, this will be like very like not a good standard sometimes, and they will be damaged so soon. So I just said a no to them for few days, and for that I had to listen a lot of things from my cousin sisters, from my close friends, and from my elders as well, that why are you wearing formals, why can't you wear some traditional wears at least for functions or something. But I know what I'm going through, and I said to myself, ki I'll not listen to these things, and I'll not let these words hurt me till I am out of a huge issue. And one more thing what I did is I started working part-time kind of freelancer, as a freelancer, and I was also writing few paid blogs. So right now the blogs which I usually publish and all, those are my personal blogs, but professional ones, those are actually confidential sometimes. But I started writing blogs, and I made some amount of it, and those were helpful to manage my like some other expenses, like if you want to have a fruit, if you want to have something, and those things we sometimes cannot control. So for that it was this income was helpful. And I also made sure that I'm carrying only home food, and I almost quit eating the outside food. I almost stopped ordering outside things for 6 to 8 months, and these are the things I have controlled. And I wrote an email to nodal officer, point 1, and I have withdrawn my PF. That is the second point to remember. And the things I have controlled, my desires, and these are the 3 things which I have kept in my mind. And mandatory expenses, I made sure I'm paying them on the time, like insurances and some emergency fund savings. I always manage to have some amount, so that as our parents are growing older, we may need some amount. If at all, if they're falling sick or anything happens, then that amount would be helpful. So those part-time incomes were helpful to manage my savings in all these 8 months. And then finally after 8 to 9 months, the loan is cleared, and as it was a lockdown, I couldn't get my NOC, but recently I got my NOC. So that is the reason why I thought, like I didn't have anyone to share previously, and I didn't even bother to share. I didn't wanted to like go to someone for help, and even for suggestion also I never discussed it with my friends. So I would suggest ki if you are having any this kind of issues, so you better discuss with your friends, and they may suggest you something, or you can ask me as well. You can mention it in comment section. You can just take my number, call me, and if it's a serious issue, I may be able to help you a kind of moral support or guidance as well. I hope this video will be useful. At least if it is useful for 1 or 2 people, then I'll be more than happy. And this is like I'm doing a late night shoot because I promised few people that I will be doing this video. And so please do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you think it is useful for you, so that I would be motivated to do more such informative videos further. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time, happy weekend, and stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.